happy Sunday. Ugh, my hair looks crazy, I know, but I need to keep my braids back. Well, again, happy Sunday. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I am actually on my way out because I have to run a couple of errands. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a full face with products that I have loved from last year. And recently, I just shared, well, on Instagram, you guys have seen it, but on my YouTube shorts, I mentioned the Glossier Stretch Fluid Foundation, and that was really a big foundation launch for 2023, and it always looks beautiful. So today I'm going to use that foundation. I'm pretty sure many of you guys have seen reviews on it, and for the most part, it has great reviews. I love it. I have oily combination skin, so it works well for me. So here we are. Got my trusty little Glossier makeup bag and my Sephora bag of brushes, and we're going to do a quick face. Not really quick because it's probably be a long video, but we're going to do a face and like kind of like chit chat through this. So I'm going to show you everything that I'm using. A lot of it was from my face from 2023, so let's get right into it. So first of all, I'm going to start out with the topical sealed primer. It's really supposed to be called an acne scar primer, but what I like about it is that if you have larger pores, it kind of fills that in. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I usually squeeze out on my hand maybe about that much, and this is a silicone feel primer. So I am one of those people that I know there are people who like to apply primer with a brush. I'm not one of those people. I prefer my fingers. I just feel like I can press the product in much better. Let me just see right here. Yes. And then I get it over my face. Now, I may have taken a little bit too much. Probably not. But I do like it for the blurring effects that it has. It feels, once it gets on the skin, it's very slippy. That's what I will say. It does have that, but it does eventually dry down. I like to focus it like around where I have larger pores, my smile lines. I love that. And around my chin, on the forehead. But I generally leave the outer part of my face primer free. It's just like something I do. Every now and then I may smooth something over it, but it's generally primer free. So one thing about this primer that I find out that it works best is when you let it sit for a while. So we're gonna let that happen while we go in and prime my under eyes. I've mentioned this a million times. I think I mentioned it in my very first video on the channel, but this Milk Makeup, this is the Hydro Grip Eye Primer, and it's also used for under eye, like it's like a primer for your under eye concealer. I love it. I feel like people don't talk enough about it, especially being used in this way. So what I usually do is I actually just go underneath my eye and all the way to the top, and then this area right here, I just spread that there. And it is fantastic. The reason why I like it is that it does help with not having your concealer crease, but it also provides like a really smooth, flawless base. Since we're going to be putting on some eyeshadow, I'm also going to be using it as an eyeshadow primer, and it does work well. It does, like I said, just like the sealed primer from Topicals. At first it goes on and you're like, this is going to slide all over the place. But if you give it a chance to dry, it's fantastic. And again, while we're letting it dry, we're going to go in and work on the brow. So today, this is what we have here. I have my pencil. You guys pretty much know the drill with this. I am going to use my NYX Brow Glue, which I love, and then go in with my Refi pencil. I may speed this part up in the video because one, I see this what everyone does, and like who's really like into watching people do their brows. I think they're so tedious to do that, yeah, it's like the longest part of the routine. I thought I had something here that had a mirror. I do. I think. Please have a mirror. Perfect. All right, I have to get up close and personal when I do my brows, so let's do this. This right here is the e.l.f. Brow brush that comes with their brow lift. And this, I like it because, again, I can press up the brows to the skin and really give it like a good shape. I recently got my brows like waxed again after not having them waxed for a while, just so I could clean up the shape. And I feel like she went too thin. They used to be thicker than this, but it's fine. It works for now. Go back in with my brow glue. Where did I put it? Okay. Hold, please. There we go. And, oh, this looks crazy. Excuse me. All right. Do it again. Square glue. And this is like the perfect time for me to do my brows because I'm waiting, like I told you before, for the primer that I put on my face and underneath my eyes kind of like dry down. So this is the perfect time to do brows. I'm gonna go in with my favorite pencil. It's been my favorite pencil for only pretty much, I want to say, ever since it launched. It's the Refi brow pencil. I do like it because it has an extremely tiny tip. So let's just go in here and do these brows. All right, brows are looking good. We like that. And now we're gonna step into doing this base. All right, here we go. I use the Glossier foundation in the shade A Deep One. This is actually It's a really good shade match for me, but it wasn't the one that, quote unquote, based off of the site, was supposed to match me. The one that was supposed to match me was supposed to be actually slightly, it's part of the medium deep. And if I would have gone, it was like medium deep 3, but if I would have gone to medium deep 4, it would have been too red. So went back to deep 1, which at least has the golden undertones, so that's great. So you don't need a lot of this foundation. Maybe, see, that's like a pump, and I'm gonna like, maybe a little bit, and probably don't need this. So the way I like to do this, I like to actually get it on the brush before doing it, and then, you know, bouncy on the skin. It's very skin-like, so natural foundation, I would say. It does say that. It gives it like a natural finish, so it just covers ever so slightly, and we like that. Let's get some over here. And kind of spread the rest on your skin. Could actually probably use a little bit more. Again, that's how much I have on there. Let's just go. I'm trying to have this spread, so I'm trying not to drag as much as kind of pouncing it on. Okay. So here we are. So you can see not a lot of coverage. I'm not doing anything crazy. So this has a very natural finish. You can still see the skin. You can still see some of my blemishes here on my chin, but we're going to cover that up with some concealer. So the first concealer I'm going to go in is going to be with my under eye concealer, and for that, I'm not sure if I put 2 concealers or I put 1 concealer in here. Hold on. Yes, for that, I did put 2 concealers, but before we actually do that, we're going to go in with this NARS color corrector, only because I've kind of been obsessed with color correcting. It's just so nice. So when you see the difference it makes, it's like, why haven't I been doing this sooner? So it's starting here. This is an old, like, before they redid the Sephora Pro Brush, this is what they used to look like. And this is, I think they have something for it now, but this is like a full coverage precision, which I love for color corrector. This is the NARS color corrector. I'm using Sunfire, and I usually like this. It's usually like, you know, an apricot shade or dark peach. And I just like to press this right underneath here. And I have enough here for both eyes. And I actually come in to this area of my eye because I feel like the darkness sometimes is there as well. And then just kind of buff that down. So it does work to cover, or actually to color correct that darkness that everyone has underneath their eyes, unless of course you're a baby. And it just does a really good job at it. So before I add my actual concealer, I always put this, or some sort of color corrector. You guys know I've been in love with the NYX Pro Sticks, which are great. That one is actually a darker, more apricot color corrector, so that definitely does erase all darkness, but this one is really good too, and I like the formula. If you want a more affordable kind of quote-unquote dupe, there is one by e.l.f, but I just don't think it works that great. It's decent, but it's not really, I wouldn't call it a dupe. I just would call this like a more affordable version, and you'd have to put some work into it. If you want a color corrector that's actually going to color correct like instantaneous and can probably hold up with some more of the luxury brands, I would definitely go with the NYX color correcting Pro Stick. Alright, so now we have that. My nose always runs. It's so annoying. Like whenever I want to film, this is when it's happened. So I'm going to use the LYS concealer. This is very brightening, so I'm going to use only a little. This is in the shade DG3, just here in this area. See, that's really light, but it's fine. Kind of in this area right here. Again, a little above. I like it here and here. And then again to lift the eye here and here. And just to balance everything else out, let's just do there and here. Alright, so now we have the concealer on. I like that to dry down as well. I also realized I did not bring my fan in here. That's fine. While that's happening, we're going to go in with another LYS product. This is the LYS. This is the No Limits Bronze and Sculpting Stick. Ooh, this isn't worthy. I thought I had picked up Strength. I use both of these shades, but this is like really, really deep. So I'm going to have to go really, really... Actually, for what I'm doing today, let's not use that. What we're going to use, which will kind of be both cream and bronzer. Actually, again, before I do that, let me go ahead and also... using this same brush. This is the Glossier Stretch Fluid Concealer. I'm in medium deep 3. See, this is like the concealer that's supposed to match my shade. And it matches well on my face. It's just something about the foundation. It's not like a dead-on, or I don't feel like they're complementary to each other. So usually here, I'll just dab a little on a brush, and for my dark spots, I'll just pat that on. Use my finger to blend it out. And that always works in here. Alright, so this should be fine. To cover those little areas. Now basically you could just use a little bit more coverage. That's what I have here. I'm going to use my foundation brush to kind of buff those in. Alright, now that we have that going, this one aside, perfect. We're gonna go with, what's next? Why am I blanking on what my next step is? Oh, I was going to do a contour, but I picked the wrong contour up, so we won't be using that. Instead, we will be going in with what I want to call like my bronzer. I was like cleaning out my stuff today. Well, yesterday, like organizing it, and I came across this Fenty cream. This was in the shade Chocolate, which is from the cream bronzer. And this shade I always love because it's like both a bronzer and a bit of a contour. So I'm going to use it today as a contour. So we're going to go just high here. And it's like such a subtle contour that does really blend easily into the skin. So I'm going to use a little of that. I totally forgot about this contour. I'm sorry, about this product because so many other brands are coming out. And when it first came out, I thought it was great. I thought it was a good shade. I did like the cream bronzers over the powder bronzers that Fenty had first release. I just feel like these are easier to use. They match. I felt like I was between Coco Naughty and Mocha Mami in the powder bronzers, but like Coco Naughty did very little for me in the summertime, and Mocha Mami was just too deep and too red. So that's the reason why when the cream came out in this shade Chocolate, I just really liked it. So This just gives like a subtle, it's like you're not doing too much. You just try to add some dimension to the forehead and face. And it kind of does the bronze and the concealer thing all at this, bronze and contour thing all at the same time. So now we have that going. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go and blend out this concealer now. And for that, I like to get real up close and personal when I'm blending up my concealer. So let's find a compact that has a mirror. I know the top of my eye looks crazy right now, but it all comes together. So this, go to this eye. So this is like, subtle brightness. Nothing crazy. Literally, I'm going to do like 3 things that don't require me to look any particular way. All right, so we have that now. Now that we've blended out the concealer, we're gonna go in, and I always set my under eye with this powder. I do not care what is going on in my life, but this is the powder that I set my under eye with. If you see my last couple of videos, you already know it is the Pat McGrath, the Sublime Skin. This is actually in the shade yellow. So what I like to do first is always make sure that the under eye is not creasing. Everybody has lines underneath here, so it will start to crease, but usually right before I go with that powder, I make sure everything, especially underneath the eye, is pretty much smooth. And then I quickly go in with this. This is another like discontinued. They may have it. It's the Sephora Pro Foundation 47. I like it because I would never use this for foundation. This is kind of flimsy but also firm at the same time. Perfect for the under eye because it like fits underneath there. If I do see that this is one of the brushes that they brought back with their new set, their new designer brushes, I'll definitely link it below. So what I like to do, again here, I pat in, I make sure that the entire brush head is covered. I do pat a little of the excess off, and then I go in there and, again, this joke mirror, but it does work. I just go in and pat this powder underneath, and it's fantastic. I love this powder. It just does something to make it, I don't know if you could tell, but it's like smoother underneath here than here, but this will look like this in 2 seconds. So again, I know I just did it, but I was talking and expression, face is moving. I have it all on here. I tap it off again and go underneath. And I like to use it on the side of my nose. I also go up where I put a little bit of the concealer there. I will tap it. Basically, any place that I use concealer. This powder is not, it's not just for the under eye. I find it to be one that wherever you put your concealer, it just sets it in a blurring way. So I like that about it. I think I got some powder in my eyes, so excuse me. Ooh, yeah, I did get some powder by eye. Everything, gonna cut this out. Ooh. All right, much better. Let's hope that doesn't disrupt anything else because it's a little wet in this area. Hold on. All right, I think we're okay. Okay, so we have that. Next, we're gonna go in with some blush. And the blush that I will be using today, my nose really is running. Okay. Cutting this out too. Oh my God. Hold on, I like removed my foundation. Let's okay, we're fine now, I think. I know I bought blush. I'm not bugging. Maybe I did. Okay. So the blush I bought was this Juvia's Place. I forgot what this is called. It's their liquid blush in Pink Lady, and I wanted this because I wanted a very like hot pink blush, and this is like at this point it's like Barbie pink. So what I like to do is I will dab that on my hand because I'm not going straight on my face with that. And then I will go and get my blush brush, which is not that firm. This is a very soft brush. I've actually used this color here with that. What I like to do first is I will load up the brush like this, and then I will dab it all over my hand first because we're not going in like that. As we do it, then I am just going to tap it on. And I like to go pretty high up on my blush. I like this blush because even though it's supposed to be like a matte blush, there is some luminosity to it, especially if your skin prep is that way. So let's just try. I go across the nose sometimes. And this looks like a lot of blush because it is. But we're going to fix that. I love a good pinky blush. I do. And I like it kind of like all over this area. But what I also do is I'll go over with my foundation brush with no extra product on the foundation brush and just kind of like go over it so that it becomes a bit more subtle. And then to set it, I love how that goes all the way up there. To set it without it looking too matte, I'll go in with a powder blush, and I'm going to use this brush. I have a flimsier. This is a powder, I think it's just called powder blush. It's from another set that I got from Sephora. And I'm gonna use the one size. This is their Cheek Clapper blush trio in Attention Seeker. Unfortunately, I lost the highlighter, which is fine because that was like the one product I really didn't use. They do have a cream blush here, but what I noticed was that let me see if I see, okay. What I noticed was that the cream blush is very, very, very fair, and it's like too light for what I usually like, but I do like to use the powder, which is the middle one, on top of very bright blushes like this one. So I just tap this in, tap the excess, And then I just go over. Basically, everywhere that I put that blush, I just do it there. And it kind of mattifies it, but it'll give it some staying power. So, again, this is also not a new product. It's very hard to get. I remember once that whole pink trend and pink under eye came out, like, you couldn't find this at Sephora. It was always sold out. So when I got it, I think I got it, like, after being notified about it. So here we go. I like my little blush. This blush moment is, like, kind of for me. I'm going outside, so it kind of gives that cold girl look. And yeah, so we have that. Did this. I'm trying to think what else I have to do here. For the eyes, I'm not going to do anything like really crazy. I kind of just want to put something over the eyes so that my eyelids don't look so concealer-like. So maybe I'll go back in with this Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk quad. It's cute, but I'm not sure if there's anything here actually. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go in with this light brown and see if that helps any. Well, it does a little bit, so it might actually work. Okay. It's really a light brown, but when I put it over the eye, it actually does have some payoff. So, you know. And honestly speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadows. I think this is good. I am definitely more of a Pat Natasha Denona type of gal, but this one is nice. It did what it needed to do. Like, this looks less concealer-like. So, again, it did what it needed to do. I'm gonna go in here and do the same to the other eye, just to kind of diffuse that concealer eye look, because it's giving very concealer. And I just want to like cover that with kind of like a deeper shade so it gives some dimension, but again, I'm not doing too much. And this is the Sigma. This came from their soft blend set. This is 10, which is like their smallest brush in the set. For the eye, the soft blend comes with both eye and face brushes, but it is exactly for that. It's soft blend, so the bristles are very bendy and fluffy, and so it just gives a good, it's a good blend, soft blend, whether you're using it on your eye or on the face. And there you have it. See, my eyes are back to normal. So now we have that. Am I missing anything? Why do I always feel? Yes, I am. I realize that I, in fact, did not set my face. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to use my favorite pressed setting powder of all time. This is the Kosas. I'm telling you, I use it. This is usually a big dome. I love it. I love this powder. It's called their Cloud Set powder, and I use the shade Softly. And basically any place that I did not, any place that I didn't set with the Pat McGrath powder, that's where it usually sets. So it's going to be basically on my perimeter. And then we just going to tap that in. All right. I actually cannot believe that I did not bring not only my fan, but there is also no setting spray here. But I do have some hydrating sprays that I want to use because I am going outside. It is cold, so I prefer something that's a little hydrating. And let's see what we have here. I found not my electric fan, but this will do. And I'm actually going to use the Tula antioxidant water to kind of blend this all together before I go into mascara, because I do not like to use mascara like after or before I set my face. So we're just going to go in with a little bit of this. And this is probably not going to extend the life of this makeup, but I needed something that at least helped to melt it all together and for it to really look like skin, which is what this does. So you can still see a little bit of the pink, the rosiness, but the skin, the complexion, everything is smooth. So that's what I usually go for. Looks do not change pretty much here. But see what I'm talking about with this foundation? It just makes everything look like skin. I'm really happy about this. I'm like, this was a really good, this was like a solid foundation launch from Glossier. So that's great. All right, now we're going to go into my mascaras. If you guys are saying me, you know these are like two of my favorite mascaras. The FanFest and Benefit, I love this one. I love the way that the wand is. It's like curved, so you definitely get some lifting with that. And then, of course, I've been talking about this in almost every video I've been doing. This is the e.l.f. Lash Extender. It's a tubing mascara. I like this as well. Let's see what we have here. This is a very skinny brush, and it gets every lash. So what we're going to do is, I'm not curling my lashes. It's fine. I'm like literally going to do 3 things. But what I will need is an up-close mirror. The way I like to layer these mascaras, I always go in with my tubing mascara first, and then follow it with the curling, like volumizing mascara. So let's start out with the e.l.f. Lash Extender. And we're just gonna go in. In with that, and make sure we coat every lash. I love this mascara. Best $7 spent at the drugstore. You guys have to see that. Like, I could really see the difference. I'm pretty sure you can just tell the shape, the way it looks like there are lashes here. It looks like there's no lashes here, even though there actually are some lashes. But this does make it like dramatically apparent that you have lashes. So usually I'll go with 1 coat of this. Most times I'm going with 2, but because we're going in with the FanFest, and I love this combo, I'm now going to go in with a coat of the FanFest, and I love this already like curved wand. And it just, what I like what it does is it just makes it look like there are more of those long lashes. So it really does tastefully clump the lashes. There's no other way for me to describe it, but it like tastefully clumps the lashes so that they look thick and lush. See that? That, you could definitely tell the difference there. So there you go. I do a coat of that and a coat of this, and lashes are there. On my bottom lash, I'm probably going to go in with the e.l.f. one because it's just, you know, I don't need anything that heavy on the bottom. I'm going to get some wine, okay? So here we go, in with, again, best $7 spent at the drugstore. Like, there's lashes there now. You can see them. And I also like using like a tubing mascara. If I'm going to layer mascara, what I've noticed is that being that I like tubing mascaras, I'll go in with the tubing mascara first and then layer the other one on top. This is probably not true, but my theory is that a tubing mascara is gentler on your lashes, and they usually like slide off with just water, warm water. So my whole thing is coat your lashes with that, and then when you put the other mascara formula on there, it's gripping to the tubes, not to your lashes, so I feel like your lashes are less likely to dry out. That's just my theory. I'm not saying it's gospel, but that's my theory. And from working in beauty, I feel like that makes sense. So, there. Alright, so let's just add a little bit of this. I hate talking about putting on mascara because I just don't want it to go places I don't want to go. I really feel that way, especially when I do this eye. This is really something. I swear and love this combo. All right. Do I really need anything on the bottom? I don't think I need anything on the bottom last. I think this is good. I think this is good. And then last but not least, we're gonna go in with lips just to figure it out so that, you know, they don't look that crusty. I'm gonna go in with my Makeup Forever Artist Pencil Limitless Brown and just slightly line the lips. And then in the center, eyes are watering again, so let me get that before it gets really crazy. Ooh. I wish I had my Q-tips in here. And we're leaking. Ooh. Okay, this is good. It's gonna get. These videos have got to get better. I have to find a way. It's probably because my bathroom also is a little warm. And I'm using the Summer Fridays, the Lip Butter Balm, and I'm using this in Pink Sugar. It's like really one of my favorite shades, flavors from them. This one is nice. And there we go, a little brown lip liner. Let's fade that out a little bit. All right, and there we have it. Take the hair down. I'm gonna get a little ready here. Oh, my eyes are still watering a bit, but it's fine. Yeah, so this is the finished look. It's always, you know, slight pink, very natural. I really like the way the brows came out today. That looks nice. Let me just stand back here. Oh, also, you guys have to know, I'm really going to start doing videos that are outside of my bathroom. Today, I really actually wanted to film this in my bedroom, but it's so gray. It's so dark outside. We were supposed to have a snowstorm. That never happened. But it was, the lighting just, it wouldn't have worked. So I'm trying to be more consistent here on YouTube and kind of give you some variety, things that I'm doing, things that I'm trying, things we need to revisit. The Glossier Foundation today is what made me do this. I was like, you know what? We need to really give this foundation her flowers because she came through in 2023. And that's it. So thank you for watching. If you're watching, you like this vibe, I'm going to do different types of videos. Would love to hear some of you guys' suggestions in the comments below. And until next time, have an awesome week. If I said Happy New Year, well, today's the 7th, so it's the first week, so I can still say that. Happy New Year. We've made it this far. It's been great, and talk to you soon. Bye.